What's up, traders? Welcome to live streaming from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. This is Forex Wizard, your trading coach. We'll do a live trading session, live analysis and live discussion that we do every day. So this is a pre-London live trading session. This is a very important session. As you know that from this session, we'll know exactly what the market will do in the next session in London and New York session. And in the meantime, we will create a plan how we can trade. We'll find a direction in the market, including all the major pairs and gold, US oil and indices. So before I begin this very important session, guys, make sure that you give a big thumbs up, smash the like button, and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done yet, so that you don't miss out any of the updates and content that we are releasing every single day. So with that in mind, let's begin today's session with some of the major pairs that showing. Let's look at first of all USDPS. Let's begin firstly with DXY. In fact, it will give us a clear direction of all the major pairs, including euro dollar, Aussie dollar, Gbpusd, and then we'll jump on to the other pairs. So DXY, as you can see, this is a daily chart on DXY. So I normally look at, whenever I sit on my trading desk, the first thing I look is daily chart and then higher time frame and then lower time frame. So I normally don't jump on monthly first, because daily chart is basically a very crucially important chart where you can see a very clear picture, because many investors, traders trade on daily chart, and I really love to trade on daily chart as well, along with the lower time frame, because daily chart, trading on daily chart, if you have a little bit of capital as an example, and then even with let's say a funded account, if you trade on daily chart, if you know exactly what you are doing, with maybe each day half an hour time, you are done. So it's a very that's why there's a lot of volume comes on daily chart. So I first look at daily chart, that gives normally a clear direction in the market. So with that in mind, I'll look at DXY on the daily chart. What I see that on daily chart on DXY, you can see there is a long consolidation happen here, and multiple times liquidity grab and false breakout from this resistance DXY, and then has broken down. So this is normally, you can see that DXY in fact was a long-term uptrend. You can see that a very long-term uptrending market. So normally when you see this kind of consolidation is a trend change. So we could see a major drop on DXY, in my opinion, due to this strong movement, due to this change of trend. So with that change of trend, we have seen that as a result, with this impulse, first of all, with this big impulse on the daily, the price has broken out of this structure. Okay, so this is a major structure on DXY. This is the support zone of this consolidation pattern, or triple top, fourth top, anything you can define, because in trading, in fact, the pattern sometimes is very, like, you can't put in a simplistic geometry sometimes, because the market is always very randomistic and variable. So basically when you see like a consolidation pattern with a series of lower high and then breakdown, either could be a head and shoulder or double top or triple top or any kind of consolidation pattern, that's how normally trend changes, along with sometime with a strong vertical move also trend changes. So with that in mind, we have seen the DXY with this daily candle, basically the price has completely broken down. As I mentioned, this is daily chart. So from that breakdown, we see that the price created this slow retracement. Okay, so this is how normally a trader can understand either it is a trend change, or it is a pullback or it is reversal? This is a very, very important question. When I started trading also, I asked myself that, because you can see this part now, but when, let's say, the price was here, okay, maybe we are asking the same question, that is it a pullback or it is a reversal? And you can see that there is also a couple of candles created a smooth trend line. So firstly, in trading, it may not be possible for anyone to tell 100% that this is a pullback, this is a reversal, but from like higher probability that the way you can look at, or we look at market, that I'm sharing with you, the way we look at, everyone has a different way of looking at. Definitely you also look at in a different way, and definitely should be all right if you have your own way of looking at the market, because our brain recognizes pattern in a different way. So but knowledge is shareable, so I'm sharing my ideas. So what do you see that on the daily, this is the impulse, and then this is a correction. So the way I understand that it is impulse and this is correction, especially when I see that impulse started with a false breakout. So very crucial point. And you see that back to back 2 days, very, very strong red candles. Okay, so that's how. So what they are graphical representation of orders. So that means that this day there has been a lot of volume came. Maybe this daily candle, let's say as an example, 1 billion. Okay, could be very different, but just I'm selling. Let's say this daily candle maybe 0.8 billion. Okay, now when you consider those candles, you can see that they're very, very narrow. So that means that when the buyers turn, so there will be a turn for buyers, there will be a turn for seller, like in a game or in trading. I normally consider more of like a sports than a business. That's how it really reflects the true characteristics of this market. So what I see that basically if you look at these green candles, these are effort from the buyers. So buyers are comparatively weaker, and as a result, so that's how we interpret that. Okay, this could be a pullback, and we see that in fact that's what happened. The price finally again started to drop. So this is how normally understanding the pullback and reversal. Now why we should look at that way, like in the perspective of a sports rather than, let's say, from the perspective of business, is because when we look at price, then we think of buying from here. Okay, we see that because our brain, that's how the process information. We think that if the price is at the support, like not support, the price low, let's buy. But when you think in terms of sports, then we think of who is winning this battle of buyers and sellers, and then it becomes easier to understand the movement in the market. So we see that basically DXY has broken down. Now let's come to the point now where the price is here. Okay, we see that this is an established downtrend now. Okay, now you see that there is a sometimes following the famous people's quote really helps to understand how the market moves, because they have the knowledge. There is a term from J.C. Livermore in one of his book. He said that buy when the market is fully bullish, sell when the market is fully bearish. So what does it mean? So when you see, like, when we are let's say we are in a confusion, either to the market is in an uptrend or in a downtrend, that not to buy or not to sell. So when you see a market like couple of impulse created, correction created, so that is basically a clearly defined trending market, and that is where normally good idea to sell or buy. So if you look at DXY market now, what we see that basically this market starting from here impulse correction. So basically this is established downtrend. So that is what he mean that the sell when the market is fully bearish. So this is a fully bearish. We have seen couple of impulse. Okay, so this is a fully bearish market, and looking for selling idea is always a good trading psychology. And this normally goes sometime against our like normal thinking, and that is why training our brain as a trader is so important, because normally when the market becomes like that, including myself, we all also had that tendency to buy, because we feel like, okay, the market already dropped a lot. Okay, there is already big drop, four wave already has done, so the market may not come down, instead it might go up. This is one reason. Another reason is our like when you look at this market, let's say DXY, so we see that there is price here, but we don't see this. So it's a kind of fear emotion that works in our trading, because we feel like this is unknown territory, right? This zone is unknown, but we see something here, so we feel like that the price is likely to go up. But if I sell, then I'm gonna go to an unknown territory, which is a little bit of fearful, subconsciously that happens. So these are the main part of trading psychology that one need to master to trade the market, understanding the market structure. And when we see market structure clearly, then understanding when to enter, when to buy or sell, and how to open position, and which way to trade. So basically trading with the trend. Now, so finally we came to a conclusion, in my opinion, that DXY is highly bearish now, as it is an established downtrending market. And then for GBP, USD, Euro dollar, AUD, USD, gold, we will be looking at bullish. Okay, so because if dollar gets weaker, other currency pairs will go stronger. So that is why initially, so normally that's how I look at market. Okay, so let's say when I wake up, come to the desk for the day to starting a trading day, I look at the market like this with a beginner mindset, starting from top. Let's say I know that this market is bearish, but when I started, I looked at the trend, everything. Okay, bigger picture, smaller picture. Like first day I'm looking at the market, or first time I'm looking at the market, because the market changes every time. So that also helps to, over and over repeating the same thing to take the right decision, which is very, very important. So on the daily DXY, I see that this market looks to me bearish. And now let's go to the higher time frame. We'll look at now monthly, weekly, and then we'll jump into 4 hour to see how the market is doing. Now looking at bigger picture, we see that this is a bigger picture DXY. This is monthly chart, and we have seen from this trend line on the monthly, DXY strongly has broken down. Now what we could see on DXY, in fact, is, as I mentioned earlier also, I think that from the monthly perspective, DXY at least to come back to this monthly 20 period moving average. Okay, this is the previous support zone on the monthly. Now looking at the weekly, what we see that weekly perspective, there is also bearish impulse, back to back 2 weeks, a strong bearish price action. Currently the price, you see that below this green candle, which is a head and shoulder, has been formed on the weekly on DXY, which is on the lower time frame we see in a different way. So with that head and shoulder, we have seen a breakdown. Now the price is testing the neckline of this head and shoulder, previous support turning resistance. Now looking at daily, now this is the daily chart. What do you see? That this is the support here on the daily, support here, which is turning here as resistance. And so all the time frame is giving us a potential shorting. Now if I look at the intraday, we see a little bit of different picture. You see that there is now it is going up. So basically when it will start its drop, that is where we will be entering the trade. So that's how first we decide about the market direction from the trend and higher time frame, and then we look at the lower time frame for entry. Now entry could be even further lower time frame, no problem, but major the way I think that DXY is forming now, you can see on the 4 hour, I think it is trying to form a head and shoulder here. You see this is the left shoulder, it is forming a right shoulder. Now once it will start to break down, then we can expect for a move. Now it might go a little further to the upside, and then we could see that this market might continue to drop in this way. So once the downward wave will be starting, we will be considering going short on DXY. So yeah, this one is with DXY. Let me look at the chat, guys, how you are doing. Coach US30, okay, we'll look at it at a false breakout. Absolutely no problems, thank you very much. Sir, good morning sir. Mansuki, good morning coach, no problems. Pranav, hi, good morning coach, thank you. Razib, good morning coach, thank you. Razib, hello coach, how are you? Can you please have a look on natural gas? Thank you, no problems, we'll look at it. Pranav, hi coach, on these days gold making confused on most areas. Some of them are telling gold will go above 1800, some of them are telling it will come down to 1750. Yeah, I know there is sometimes it feels confusing, but we'll look at it. I think that gold will still be bullish, because if DXY is coming down, then gold is likely to be bullish. Yeah, see, the market is like that. Like, you'll not find anyone telling you, like everyone telling the same thing. It's not possible, because if everyone say the same thing, then the market will fly like a rocket, because if everyone buy, then the price will go high and then started to sell. So that's how it works. Now let's say everyone started to think for an hour that an instrument will go, gold will go up, then what will do? Everyone will buy. Now once everyone will buy, as soon as everyone will buy, the price will go a big jump. Now once the price will go have a big jump, then big boys will see that the price on ceiling, and they can sell, and then start to everyone say the opposite. Everyone will say that, okay, the gold is high now, let's sell. So there will be always two parties, buyers and sellers. That's how everything works. So the wise is to stay with the higher probability, but it's okay to be in a part where you could be, or anyone could be wrong. That's fine, because it's all about probability. If once we are wrong, the next time we will be right, and we'll take more profit on it. So that's how it works. After yesterday news on China, zero COVID, so news on Russia news. Okay, no problems. Hi coach. Euro GBP, yeah, we'll look at it. According to analysis, what's maybe going to happen on gold? Okay, Pranab, we'll look at it. Good morning coach, thank you. Zark, thank you very much. Very late, good evening, no problems. Mila, thank you very much. I know that you are in late evening, but thank you for joining here in this live session. Good evening coach, thank you. UDNZD, can you check? Yeah, absolutely. Good morning sir, can you look at gold please? Yep. So let's look at now gold, what's happening with gold. Okay, Now looking at gold, what we see that, okay, so you can see that we had in fact two positions closed on gold. Now first let me repeat that, then we'll jump onto the new analysis so that you understand actually in what situation. I think that one position that we have opened in this live session, you have seen that, and after the live session I have seen, I was watching gold price action, but it was, you know, strongly bullish, and later in New York session I have found another position, and then we have opened another position also, ended up being a winning one. So let me show you so that we can okay, so we'll do now a full analysis on gold, but so this one is when we second one we have opened. This one we opened during the live session, you remember that. So, and this next one we have opened one here as well. Now what happened is that gold, if you closely look at on the daily, we see that, see, this is an order block on gold. What you can see, there is on the daily there was a double bottom, you can see that previously, and then has broken to the upside. Okay, so a big rise on this one with this impulse on the daily. Now the price normally moves from order block to the order block, which is very common where the price moves in the market. Now what we see that, so basically a double bottom means when you see a double bottom in an important area, this is an order block that you can find where the big boys buy and sell, like the smart money normally buy from that zone. So you see that this is the zone where the smart money bought on gold. Now if I draw this trend line on the lower time frame, we can see that how this happens. So we see that there is a trend line here. You can see this is a previous resistance zone here, resistance zone, also support zone here, which is turning support here, support here. Now with that zone, what we have seen that gold basically was creating series of higher low. Okay, so it's clearly identical. You can identify the structure in the market. You see that previously the price couple of up and down created here. So this is a very important zone here. So when you see, just you can keep in mind or you can note down is that when you see when the market do a lot of false breakout like that and then change its trend, okay, either uptrend or downtrend, then when the price goes to that level and test that neckline of that pattern, is a very high probability area for buying or selling. So with that in mind, what we see that gold, if you closely look at, you see that this is the support zone here. Okay, this is the support zone here, resistance here. So why this level is so important is that if you closely look at here, you see that there has been multiple times the price created a false breakout. Once it has gone up and then has come back down again and then has gone up, come back. So multiple times false breakout means that this zone is an very interesting area or level where the big boys bought and sold. So from here they have basically sold, created this move, and finally with this impulse we have seen this level is broken. Now once this level is broken, it was a zone for seller. They sold here. This is called some people call it as a smart money concept, some people call it as an order block. So this is an order block where there is a high supply and demand. So previously it was a very high supply area, and now from that supply area broken, turned into a demand area, and we see that from that demand area gold was creating series of higher lows. So this is the factors that considered when we open the position. Now if I go to this lower time frame on the 1 hour chart, we see that this is the 1 hour chart. So firstly we dodged once here, but finally I have seen that actually the big boys bought here on gold. You can see quite a few long wick candles. This long wick candles basically is a sign that they have bought. Now with that bullish engulfer, this is where the entry candle that I was in YouTube live that we have opened that position. You can see also I sent out to the students who are trading with us in our, and also it was broadcasting on YouTube live. Probably you have seen that. So, and this is where we have opened that position, and I mentioned that you can hold that position. In fact, the price has crossed 1790, which is a quite good trade. Even if you hold it, it's more than 2.5 times profit, but we closed at 1:1. So yeah, so that's what the market moves, and we enter the trade. Now, so to understand this, like as I mentioned, that once you have all those factors in your favor, it becomes easier to understand how the market moves. But second time when second time when I was watching the price action, when I saw, especially on the intraday perspective, this candle was forming, the second one, this one, okay, when the price was here, that's where I started place the pending order. The second trade also came out to be a profitable trade on this one. So yeah, that's the thing, that when the market gives us opportunity, we need to take it. Now at this point, which way the gold market is heading. Now first let me look at, based on my this is the second trade that you can see, buy signal here. This is our trend following strategy indicator. So that's indicator basically is a Pine script that our trend following strategy translated into a Pine script that you can use in your trading view or in MetaTrader 4 if you learn that strategy. Anyone in our Forex Trading Wizard Academy, a lifetime member, can have that access to that indicator. Just you can find it in your student dashboard. If you want to join us and also learn that strategy, you can find a link in the description area. I will invite you to join so that you can learn the strategy to trade with us, and so that you know how we trade the market. We do have a extended back tested session with all those strategy that we are teaching our students so that they can trade independently. Now let's jump on to gold higher time frame to see in fact which way finally the market is heading. Now what we see that from the higher time frame perspective, gold so far is still showing bullish momentum. Now look, over the long term gold, if you look at this price action, we see that this is a long term impulse to the downside. Now it is in correction. So sometime I know that it becomes a little bit of daunting to understand either the high monthly price action is correction, then why should I in fact buy? So yesterday also I discussed this fact is that higher time frame we use for potential buying or selling opportunity on the lower time frame, because when you see a higher time frame pullback, let's say monthly pullback, say it was a monthly bearish, now it is in monthly pullback. So monthly pullback is basically bullish on the lower time frame, let's say on the 4 hour, even on the daily, on the 1 hour, on the 15 minutes, it's basically bullish price action. Now what we have seen that after the previous monthly close, now this previous monthly close candle is in fact a sign of bigger move to the upside. Why? Because if you closely look at here, bottom of this monthly candle, you see that in fact, let's stretch it, you see that this market has crossed this one's low and respected this one's low. So this is a very high area of value, because the price bounced from this level with a wick at the bottom and wick at the top. And also if you closely look at that, this this candle has a huge volume in it. It's a full body green candle, and that's the sign that we could see couple of, or at least 1 or 2 monthly candle to the upside. So with that in mind, on the monthly we are finding a bullish move. Now where we can find the levels that for buying and selling. Now even you can be a seller on gold. Let's say on the daily you saw a false breakout on a resistance in the 15 minutes, you can be a seller. But the level to level is very important. You can see that this is the monthly resistance zone, and we have seen that from that monthly resistance we have seen the price created an overextended market and then started to drop. So looking at weekly, now this is the weekly chart, we can see that on the weekly the price primarily has rejected, now came back down to this level, now going up. So now let's go to the daily, which is a very, very important time frame, as I mentioned. Now on the daily perspective, as I have drawn this line, this is a very, very important level. What I think that later today we might see another retest of this support here, okay, which is turning resistance here, which is support here, and I think that the price may come back down to the same level, which is the order block, and then we might see bullish move. So if I look at intraday or 4-hour time frame, what I see that it is creating currently. So let's delete those trade. Okay, so you understand. Okay, so this is the lower time frame, right? We have seen already an impulse on the intraday. Now it is in correction, so we see that multiple candles has created here. Now this candle, current one, is closing on 55 minutes. What I think we might see further drop, and from that trend line we could see again bullish move. Yeah, I think that once the price will come back to this level, that could be a very good place for buying again based on this kind of price action confirmation. Gold, I don't think that the price will move from here like that, which may happen. If it happens, then once we'll see a strong bullish move, we'll do it. But I think that gold will come back down further, okay, along this zone. Once you'll see again a bullish move started, so even let's say this one closing as a green candle, we might see another one coming back down and then consolidating along the zone and then creating another bullish price action. So based on one candle going long will not be a good idea, because it will leave an imbalance here. So what we need, expect that gold to come back here down, and then once it will give us price action along this level, let's say around 1776 or 1770 zone, okay, that is where, based on the lower time frame price action, we can consider going long on gold. For me, it's still bullish. I think that what it will do, like that, will come and then slowly will move in that way. So basically this move, and then slowly it will merge into the higher time frame. So if we look at the daily, how it looks like is that basically you can see what I'm saying is very easy to understand on the daily. Now what you saw on the daily, okay, first of all you see this impulse, okay. Understanding trend is sometimes daunting. If you look at daily, it's easy. So this is the daily impulse, you can see, and this is the correction, okay. Now it is in another impulse, so that's how it can be understood. So if we take our Fibonacci on the daily for this impulse, we see that the price exactly, you see this is the 61.8% Fibonacci level, exact where. Now the next one just created a higher low from 61 point, and the next one creating another higher low. So what we are expecting that the other one also create another higher low and then to go up. So for a high area of value, we need gold to come to this level, okay, to this previous support zone, which is turning resistance, previous resistance zone, which is turning support. Now instead of horizontal level, very easy to predict that market to understand is this trend line, and this is what basically I mentioned earlier. I think that gold market is creating the channel to push to the upside. So you see that already the price penetrated that channel in the top side, come back to the support, and what I think that it will have another attempt here, will create a higher low and will move to this zone, and then will come back like that, okay, and like this, okay, and then we'll go there, we'll come back here, and finally maybe we'll see an impulsive move breaking out of this and then changing its trend. So that's how the market normally moves on any time frame. Okay, so with that in mind, what we are expecting now for the price to come back to this support, which is a very important area, in case which is highly likely to happen if gold drops here again, and then we'll be buying from here, going long, keeping stop loss below all this low, and then take profit probably 1 to 2, 1 to even 1 to 1 with a high probability. That's a good trade setup. So what we see that, one second guys, so with that in mind, okay, so what we can do here is we'll be waiting for this price to come back down here, and then we can consider buying on gold. So looking at US30 now, with that gold, what we see that US30 also has given us a potential price action here. So if we look at the US30 now, if gold is going to be bullish, then what we could see that US30 giving us a bullish setup on this one as well, because if gold is going to be bullish now, dropping with the DXY, okay, weakening in DXY could affect it will basically affect all the USD pairs, euro dollar, GBP USD, and indices as well, US30. So on the US30, what we have seen that the price in this very important level of support zone here, okay, what we see that the price on a support. Now if we look at higher time frame perspective, this is the weekly chart. So what we see that this is the daily chart on US30, as you can see that. So okay, so Okay, so what we see that on the daily perspective, the price, looking at the weekly, what we see that on the see when the monthly open on US30, what we have seen that the price has broken this monthly resistance level, okay, and created an overextended market. Later on the weekly, with this doji, the price decelerated. So on the weekly perspective, what we have seen that once the market is overextended, like the gold that we have seen from that level, what we see that the price started to drop. Now if we take our Fibonacci on the weekly perspective, what we see that US30 has come back to this 50% Fibonacci level currently. Now from that 50% Fibonacci level, we can expect a bounce. Now with that strengthening of gold, so basically they are correlated. When you see in the beginning we started with DXY, okay, so we have seen that weakening in DXY, and then all the pairs started to move in the direction. So with that in mind, let's look at the daily. What we see that on the daily perspective, the price has come back to this level of support zone on the daily. Now less likely that this support will be broken. What I think that, like with the movement in the gold, we see that this is the previous level here, which is the previous resistance zone, turning support here. So what we can expect now on US30, the price to create a bullish move. So if I look at the intraday perspective, what we see that on the intraday, the price has created this movement. Now you can see the price is creating series of higher low. So with that series of higher low, what we can expect that US30 to have a bounce. So okay, let me look at the chart. So what we see that, guys, absolutely morning coach, morning from Lars, and the day with blow and knowledge, no problems. Any thought on euro dollar? No problems. Euro CHF, yeah, absolutely. Good evening coach. Check dollar yen, absolutely. Good morning Najam, good to see you trading coach, proud of you, no problems, thank you. That's awesome. Good morning, no problems, thank you very much. Eurojpy place, yeah, absolutely. Favor ship, and yeah, Rajab coach, can you explain what is pivot? Yeah, we'll look at it. Euro CHF, no problems, thank you very much. Can you have a look on GJSR? Yeah, absolutely. Gbpusd, good morning, no problems. Good morning coach, please check US oil. Yeah, absolutely, we'll check. Yeah, absolutely. US oil place, what should be good entry for long? So we discussed already about the entry. I'm long trade for GBP USD. So looking at GBP JPY, let's look at, so if the gold is getting bullish, then GBP USD, GBP JPY, we can expect a bullish setup. So looking at what we see, that monthly perspective, GBP JPY, it's a long-term bull market. As you can see, there is an impulse on the monthly, the price creating this zone where we can see series of higher lows been created. Now if you look at this monthly price section on GBP JPY, what we can see that the price is currently has a bounce from this monthly level of support. Okay, so what we see that we can expect the price to continue to go up. Now what I think that the price highly likely that will respect this resistance and then will come back down. So for the time being, we have seen a bounce from this support, and we can expect a bullish move on for the time being. The way the price action is forming, which is lower time frame, looks like that bullish. Now with that a strengthening on gold, we can expect GBP, JPY and GBPUSD to give us some bullish move. Now looking at the daily, now there is one thing happening on the daily. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, the price action is little bit of bullish, but with a little bit of in a sideways. So the reason is you can see that dollar getting weaker. So when dollar get normally weaker, the energy or the liquidity goes to yen, which is considered a safe haven. So in that case, normally GBP, JPY sometime move in a sideways. So what we can expect on GBP, instead of GBP, JPY, I prefer buying GBP USD, because in that case we can keep a stronger currency with the weaker currency. So this is always the good idea to go with the stronger currency with the weaker currency. That's always best to do that. Now what we see that in this instrument, what we can see, GBP, JPY is moving in a sideways. Now if we look at the intraday, as you can see, the price action is bullish, creating series of higher low, but at the same time respecting this resistance level. Okay, so respecting this resistance level here, resistance here, resistance here, so resistance here, resistance here. Okay, we see that series of higher low has been created on GBP, JPY. So what we can expect, this instrument is respecting this resistance. At some point, if we see that the price has broken out of this level on the retest, we can consider going long on GBP, JPY. Okay, so with that in mind, looking at GBP USD, now like the gold, we are expecting it to come back and giving us a bullish setup. Now looking at weekly, first of all, on GBP USD, we see that the price has in fact a strong impulse on the weekly. If you look at this impulse, we see that GBP USD have this impulse. Okay, now it is facing this 38.2% Fibonacci level, which may happen, may not happen, but for the lower time frame we might see the price action has some bullish move. Now looking at the daily, now the previous day, this is the candle has formed. Now with that short-term weakness in gold that we are expecting, as you can see, they are correlated. Now what we are expecting on gold on the daily to come back to this support and then to give us a bullish setup. In the same way, what I think that you see that GBP USD might come back down a little bit further, highly likely either from this daily support that we will be looking for a bullish setup. If it breaks down somehow, then somewhere here we might see lower time frame bullish price action. So if we look at the intraday on the 4 hour, we see that the price action is forming. So what I think that we might see further drop, even breaking this level and then giving us some bullish setup. So you can see this level where this is the very important level, which is the order block, the previous resistance zone, which is turning support here. Okay, so this is the previous resistance zone, which is turning support here. Okay, now what we see that GBP USD highly likely to come back down here, and from this level we can consider going long. So I think that short term there will be further drop, but it is a long term bullish market. As you have seen, we have opened two gold position, both buy. So this is the main thing. We had one sell position, but we closed. So that is why always trading with the trend is always a good idea to have a better high probability trade setup. Favor Euro GBP. So let me look at Euro GBP. What we see that Euro GBP is this is the weekly chart. Looking at the daily perspective, we saw that primarily a bounce from daily to 20 EMA on Euro GBP. Looking at monthly, what I think that Euro GBP for me is still primarily showing bullish move, because if you look at this monthly chart, what I see that this is the monthly doji here. This zone has not been tested yet. Highly likely that the price will go ahead and test this level. So if we look at weekly, what I see that this is the weekly chart, which primarily from this support created a movement to the upside. Now, in my opinion, that euro dollar highly likely to test any of this level and then to come back down. Now, looking at the daily, what I think that, you see, primarily a rejection from daily 20 EMA created this bearish candle. Now this bearish candle, we might see another bounce. So as I mentioned, this is a long-term picture for bullish. Now if I look at the intraday perspective, we see that the price in a sideways. So based on how it is doing here, we can consider buying or selling. So what we can expect now, Euro GBP for what I would say, I didn't open any position because it's fully choppy here. So better to open a position in a market that is trending. But for Euro GBP, very choppy, and we might see further sideways movement. On the daily, we might see that the price moving in a sideways and finally slowly creating a higher low. Probably will go to this level and then will come back down. So for the time being, we see that there is sideways movement on Euro GBP. So I'm almost at the end of this session, guys. Let me know if you have any specific question for this session. We will be starting another one very soon. We had a scalping yesterday. You see that during the live YouTube session, we had one gold scalping successful trade. And also there is another one that we did on our group as well, along with our swing and day trading. So with that in mind, guys, I'm gonna end this session. Thank you very much for being here, and also don't forget to check out the website, link in the description area. Visit the website and also let us know if you have any question. There's a live chat available for everyone to look at, and I will be again live on during the New York session. With that said, thank you very